Israel's army has urged the residents of Gaza City to leave the area as it expands its military activities in the north of the enclave. A spokesman for the military called on residents to move to a humanitarian zone being established in the Deir al-Balah area in the centre of Gaza. This comes after Israel said on Friday it would start targeting high-rise buildings in the city it says are being used by Hamas. Gazan health officials said at least 27 people were killed throughout the city on Friday. For more on this, I'm joined here in the studio by Shani, Rozanes, DW's Middle East analyst. Good to see you, Shani. The Israeli military issued more evacuation orders this morning. Does that necessarily signal an escalation in fighting?
Well, it signals Israel really wants to move forward and very fast. And what they're doing now is they're trying to get as many Palestinian residents to, clear from the city as possible. And, in military circles, they call these warning bombings. So they try to signal to the Palestinians who've been, the Israeli military has been operating for a couple of weeks already in Gaza, slowly encircling the city and getting, more and more control of the surrounding areas of the center. Up to 40% by now, but they haven't made it to the heart of the city yet. And what they hope is that more and more Palestinians, we're talking about at least 1 million that are estimated to be there, that will evict. This was also, of course, for humanitarian reasons, but also for operational reasons. It's very hard for the military to operate in such a dense area that Gaza City is with so many civilians. And we need to keep in mind, what does it mean evicting? These are people who have, many of them, been displaced 5, 6, 7, 8 times before already. This requires money. Many of them, the Gaza economy completely collapsed. Not everybody can afford at least $1,000 to evict. And of course, where are they heading? So Israel is now building this new humanitarian zone closer to Gaza City, in the center of the city, unlike the Mawasi that is in the south. But it's also, we're talking about tents in the middle of the sand, not much there. Israel is trying to build makeshift hospitals and bring more water and other infrastructure. But let's keep in mind, there's a lot of mistrust, when it comes to Israel saying you will be safe in the humanitarian zones, because experience in the last 2 years have shown that even there, people are not always safe. And there's also another factor, which is Hamas itself. There are reports from the Gaza Strip that, of course, Hamas has zero interest to see population clearing out of Gaza and then enhancing, Israeli military actions in the city. They are trying to stop people, and that makes even things harder.
I want to play you an interesting statement by US President Donald Trump that was made overnight about negotiations with Hamas. Let's take a look.
We're in very deep negotiation with Hamas. We said, let them all out right now, let them all out, and much better things will happen for them. But if you don't let them all out, it's going to be a tough situation. It's going to be nasty. You have many dead people that are coming out as part of the deal. It's 20 people, but I think of the 20, there could be some that have recently died, is what I'm hearing.
So Donald Trump says deep negotiations. What do we actually know about those negotiations?
Well, we know his envoy, Steve Witkoff, was in Paris this week for talks with the Qataris and the Israelis. The Qataris have had very loud condemnations against Israel's action to basically not discuss even the response that Hamas has given to the temporary or partial deal that was on the table. What we're hearing now also for Trump, he says, let them all out. The idea is for a complete, comprehensive deal that will bring all the hostages out and will bring an end to the war. How many are we talking about? And this is another point that Trump is bringing. He says, we know officially there's 20. This is what the Israeli army is saying. We don't know of anybody who is no longer among us. From the 48 in total, there are 28 that are known to be deceased, and then the rest are supposed to be alive. He's saying these numbers are decreasing. Of course, it brings a lot of worry and concern to the families in Israel. And that fear is something that, of course, is fueling the protests we are seeing in the last days, and we will be seeing also later today. And they're also saying, because the families have yesterday seen footage of 2 of the hostages that were released by Hamas. And they're saying this is another indication that the Israeli military trying to sell us this confidence of we know where the hostages are and we will know to avoid going into areas where they are is not completely accurate, because Hamas have managed to take these 2 hostages and take them around, for a tour in Gaza City, it seems, for many hours without the Israeli military knowing. So very little, a lot of concern, very little trust in Israel when it comes, in the families, when it comes to Israeli authorities. And we'll be seeing more and more of this protest fueling up in the next days.
DW's Middle East analyst, Shani Rozanes. Thank you.
You're welcome, Anthony.